So we got get one product. Let's keep moving. And then eventually we'll stop and add these to the routes and try them out. But let's just add some more. That way you have some more examples. So so we got get one product, we got get many products. Let's do create a product. So create product. Same thing, request, response. And this one's pretty simple. So we can say product equals await Prisma dot product dot create. Instead of having a where field, because we're not searching for anything, we have to tell Prisma what data we're giving it to create something. So it's called data instead of where. And the data that we want to create, if we go back and look at our routes for creating a product, it's only going to be a body. That's it. Or I'm sorry, a name on the body. Like that's it. There's nothing else here. But a product also needs a belongs to. We just don't get that from the user. That's going to be on rec.user. So we'll say data name is rec.body.name. And that's the brilliance of those inputs, is that like now we know 100% sure that rec.body.name is there, because if it wasn't, this handler would never run, because our input validation middleware would have saw that and sent back an error message before we got here. So it just makes having that middleware allows your handlers to just flow very easily, and you can just safely assume that all the things are there, which is great. So you can see I'm still getting this because it's like, hey, you have a name or whatever, but like, you might need something else. So we got name. Now we need belongs to. So there's a couple ways you can do this. So you can say belongs to, and then you can just put the ID yourself. So you can say rec.user.id, and that works when it comes to relationships. The other way you can do it is, I'm sorry, that would be belongs to ID. There we go. The other way you can do it is if you wanted to do belongs to instead of belongs to ID, and you had the actual user, which we don't, but if we did, you could say belongs to, and then I believe you can do something like associate or match. There's a keyword here. Maybe it's not worth it. Yeah, just do belongs to ID. That's the preferred way. But there's another way to do it. Just almost never had to. So there we go. We got that. We got the ID. We got the name. Should get a product back. We're just going to be naive here. And res.json, that data with the product. Okay. Keep it moving. We got the create. We got the gets. Let's do the update and delete, and then we'll try them out, see what's up. So create product, let's just say update a product like so, async, rec, res. So to update, we can do, there's so many ways you can do it in Prisma, but we can try it this way. So I'll say await Prisma.product dot, and if you just hit dot on that, you can see all the different methods they have. Like for instance, find first or throw. This is really good. Or find unique or throw. I really like this because most of the time, if you do a query to look for something and it doesn't exist, the database won't throw an error. It'll just send you back an empty result, empty array, undefined. But maybe sometimes you want it to break. Like I'm looking for a user who's signing in. If that user doesn't exist, I want to throw an error. Otherwise, you have to do an if statement on the next line yourself anyway. So this kind of saves you that, which I think is really cool. But anyway, here we go. So we have like update. We have update mini. We have upsert. I'm not sure if you heard of upsert before. Upsert just means like, I'm going to give you some information. First, try to find something that matches this. If it doesn't, then use this to create a new one. So it's just like create or update. We're going to use update, okay? So this one is just for like updating one product. And you can see even Prisma wrote the documentation for it. It literally says it right there, update one product. It's pretty brilliant. Like we didn't write that. Okay, so update. There you go. And then because update is like also a find and a write at the same time, we have to use the where and the data. So first we have to say where, so it knows what to find, right? And then outside the where, we have to tell it when you find it, this is the data you need to update it with. So we got to use both. So for where, we'll say where ID is going to be rec.params.id. And then the data, if we go look at our validator for the product update, it's just the name. You can only update the name. So we'll just say name is rec.body.name. And then we get that. And then usually on update, it's kind of you as an API person to send back the thing that you updated with the updates on it. Otherwise, the client is probably just going to have to make another request back to the server to get the updated thing. So just be nice and send back the updated thing, save them some time. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm pretty sure that returns the product, yeah. Now, if you do update many, you will not get back an array of all the things you updated. You'll get back an object describing all the operations you did, and you have to make a query to get them all. But if you update one, you'll get back the thing you updated, okay? And then last one is gonna be delete, the simplest one. So delete a product. That'll be rec, res, async, and then const deleted equals await Prisma product dot delete. Delete kind of works the same way as like update, where you'll get back the thing you deleted, but if you do delete many, you'll just get back information of how many things you deleted. So we're gonna delete where ID is rec.params.id. I just remembered something. We just fell into a security flaw in the last one. Because we're just trusting that this is the ID that you wanted. Okay, well, I found your product. I found your product ID. Now I'm about to delete it, right? Like, how do I stop that, right? So you also have to do the combination of belongs to ID of rec.user.id. Belongs to ID is not assignable to type. Where belongs to ID. Yeah, it's definitely there. I don't know why TypeScript doesn't like me doing that, but I'm gonna leave it anyway because I'm pretty sure it's there. So rec.user.id. Because yeah, without this, what's gonna happen is, hey, I'll just delete whatever ID you put here and it'll be gone. So you definitely don't want that. There we go. I don't know why that thing doesn't like me having this here. Maybe it wants me to manually find it myself and then delete it, but I'm not doing that. Product where unique. Oh, yeah, it's going back to the index point. Delete is basically a find unique, and we don't have an index for this combination, so it's like you can't do that. So this is why you would have to index this. So we'd either have to go back and index this, run another migration, regenerate the client, and or have to find it ourselves first and then delete it. But just leaving it like this, yeah, your app's gonna be a wild, wild west of people just screwing with each other. We can go back and add the index. So I'm just gonna leave this here for now, and then we'll add the index for it. Okay, so then we have deleted. I'm just gonna say res.json data deleted. And the same thing is true for the updated. We would have to add the belongs to here as well. Otherwise, you can update anybody. And we're going to get the same issue because this is not unique. We got to update that index. Okay, so I'm just going to go do that right quick. For the index, I think instead of doing that, I can say unique like that. So now that's unique. An ID and a belongs to ID. But we have to tell the database about it. So in order to do that, I got to go back into the terminal and I have to run a migration. So I have to say npx prisma migrate dev, and I'm not even going to give it a name. I'm just going to just run it. It'll just come up with a name by itself. So this happens a lot faster locally, but we have a host of DB, so it's going to take a minute. But yeah, every time you make a change, especially like indexes or anything unique or anything like that, you have to run a migration. Some changes, and you can see right here, it's saying a unique constraint covering the columns ID belongs to in the table product will be added. If there are existing duplicate values, this will fail. So this just tells you the database just assumed, because I didn't put a unique index on it, that I could possibly have duplicate values, even though we wouldn't, because all IDs are unique and stuff, so that wouldn't have happened. But I'm gonna say yes. It's asking for a name. I'm gonna enter, so I want to write one. Once this is successful, it'll regenerate the client, and then a client should not scream at us with TypeScript anymore, because those things should be unique. So let's see. And let me close it and come back maybe. No, it's still screaming at us. Let's see. Oh, you have to write it in this special indexy way. So this is basically, so this is a compound index or a joint index. So it's basically saying we have a index between the ID and belongs to ID. It's a joint index. Yeah, and in fact, I think if you have that, you don't even need the ID field. You can just say ID belongs to, and I don't know if it's an array. Let's see. I think it'll be like rec.params.id, and then rec.user.id. No, it's not an array. Do you have to like add them together? Let's look that up. You gotta do an object. So it'll be like the ID is rec.params.id, and then the belongs to ID is rec.user.id. And now we can search on that. So now it's unique because we're searching on that index. And then you would do the same thing for the one up here. Pretty advanced stuff that they make easy for you, but you know, sometimes the syntax isn't perfect.